I'll take your lead, man.
Oh, okay. Can y'all hear us? All three of y'all, I guess. How many people are in here anyway? Let me make this bigger. Usually gives me a people count, but I don't have one today. It says there's 0 people watching. That's exciting. Three people that aren't watching yet. This is Wes. The guy on the other
Hello,
side of the screen is.
I'm Patrick Stewart. Did you know that right
What is
now
going
over
on?
7
Oh wait,
million
there's ad
people
playing
have
on my.
had to leave their
Why am
homes
I?
due
What
to
is? Shut up,
war and
dude.
disaster?
Hold on.
That's roughly the size
I
of the
pointed to
United
you, and you
States.
were going to say who you were, and it was hello. I'm Patrick Stewart. I was like, you have an impression though. I was like,
Yeah, not so
I didn't
much.
know you could do. I didn't know you could do those. Oh,
Hmm.
that's pretty good. Anyway, we got Killdeer and Mrs. S and a lurker somewhere. Oh, the lurker's probably me. Um, mine shows 2. Anyway, we're going to talk about. Uh, hey, Gerald, preparedness stuff. We were talking about this or trying to talk about this last night, but the information we had to work on as far as that coronavirus uh, is, well, apparently can go out of date really fast. Um, there were fewer than 20 dead people last night. Uh, that has changed. I think it's close to 30 now. Uh, there are 63 people in the U.S. under observation for suspicion of the virus in 22 different United States cities. Uh, there are official reports of 1,400 people infected in China, but the bootleg videos and reports coming out via the people that are going to wind up getting shot for giving this information out is closer to 100,000. The nurses and doctors are apparently overwhelmed by the amount of people, and it could just be people going, I'm sick, I've got to go to the hospital. We're not there, we don't know. Um, but apparently they're saying that people that are sending these videos and tweets and stuff out are saying that the government is not telling the whole truth. And they did isolate 65 million people with roadblocks today. I was making fun of Full Spectrum Survival's news thing or whatever. So I started checking on it because he makes it sound really dramatical and stuff. You are going to need to be aware that I found out this stuff and it's getting really, really bad and we're all going to die. And it's sort of fun to watch, but usually he has to read just certain parts of the stuff and kind of goes all CNN, doomer porn on it or whatever. This time he didn't really have to do much because, yeah, it's pretty scary right now. I didn't realize that there were that many cases in the United States. I thought the last I heard there was one confirmed case in the United States. When it jumps from one to they're watching 63 people or something like that in 22 different locations. Okay, first off, you got 63 people in 22 different states. That means that some of the states have more than one person.
Sounds like I need to catch up.
Yeah. The not reading the news is okay until it sneaks up on you. I have deliberately stayed away from the news for the last 3 weeks. Bad idea? Maybe. I don't know. That's what they were saying on the other live stream. They're all the people that have, they're going to stay home. They're going to start staying home. There's actually people out there that are that scared already in the U.S. I don't think it's that time, but the problem is the carriers, people spreading it, are a little thing called asymptomatic. They don't know they've got it until it's beating them down. There's no fever. There's no runny nose. There's no body aches.
Yeah.
Just get it, and then when it gets to a point, boom, you get pneumonia and you're in the hospital. Several people probably get it and defeat it without getting in the hospital. But apparently, once you've made it to the hospital, when the symptoms are bad enough for you to go to the hospital, the death rate is 14%. So if 100 people go into the hospital with it, 14 of them are not coming out. And that
It'd be pretty bad for the economy.
Yeah, that would be really bad. And China
set us back a few years.
Not that far behind on medicine. As a matter of fact, in some ways, they're ahead of us on medicine. They've already had to fight this.
It's a virus, so the only way to take care of a virus is through vaccination. I mean, that's really the only way to be able to fight a virus at this point. And vaccinations take time to be able to build up and create. So you got to figure out exactly what you're vaccinated against, and then you've got to actually go and make enough of it and then get it out there. So everybody's always afraid of having a virus come out, a superbug, as it were, full of knocking people out before they're able to recover, or wiping out huge areas of the population before a vaccine can come out that it's capable of taking care of people. So that's really the concern. But we'll see.
Yeah,
you can't rush growing vaccine though.
Yeah, I mean the petri dish takes the petri dish's time. Let me say hi to everybody. Got Corsair C103. Oi, Chipper, Bitty Boo. Bitty Boo says, according to the nurse, there are 90,000 cases known in China. That's not what they're reporting on the news, that's for sure. Who else is snuck in here?
Developing situation. I'm not able to read any of the comments, guys, so hello to everybody.
Yeah, if y'all got a question for Bob or me, highlight it, throw 99 cents at me or something, and it'll pop up on the screen and hover or something, and then we'll know to look at it. Keith Cronk. Anyway, if I miss, y'all know the deal. If I miss you, don't say your name or whatever, hello to you or whatever. It's because I suck at this. It's not because I don't like you. It's just that I suck at it. Anyway, yeah. People were asking in the other live stream and following Yeshua is like, well, what do we do? The same thing.
Wash your hands.
Yeah. If you're scared of a virus and you're gonna stay in the house, you better have 6 months worth of water, 6 months worth of food, 6 months worth of hand sanitizer. And now that's the thing. It's spreading in the hospitals, even with all the
hand sanitizer is not going to kill a virus. Well, this is a viral infection. So hand sanitizer kills bacteria, and that's not going to do too much. And really, it kind of depends on where you're getting your water as well. You got to get a microfilter system that's capable of taking down viruses, which is a pretty high-tech microfilter. So you can't just use UV because, again, viruses aren't really alive. You can boil your water, though. That'll break up a virus. That'll kill the DNA. For those of you that aren't a part of my channel very much, I'm actually a biologist. I just finally got free of the grind of the city and came outside and started filming outdoors. But that's what my formal training is biology.
Yeah, for the record, that's Bob Hanser, and he's educated and stuff. Uh,
On this,
and
I am. Yeah.
yeah, he knows a few things. So do not get in an argument with him over science. Anybody in the chat that gets in an argument with this man over science on my channel tonight is you're out. That's just all there is to it.
That's how we learn,
Because
man. I like arguing.
yeah, yeah, you do. Jeez, y'all have not lived until you get into it with this man over a cup of coffee or whatever, and then yeah,
It
it can
gets
go for
fun.
hours.
There's lots of
It gets
gnashing of
real
teeth
fun.
and crying. Yeah.
We've talked about a lot of things. I vouch for the guy's wisdom, even though I don't know.
I don't
We
know.
don't. We occasionally we have agreed to disagree, and
Yeah.
let it go at that.
It's true.
That's true. But
It's
it
true.
seriously, I mean, you're not gonna. You can wash the virus off, but you're not going to kill it. And if you don't have ample clean running water, and if the virus is in the water, then well, you're not going to rinse that off, are you? Because it's in the water, and it only takes one. Viruses don't need another virus to get happy with, to make more viruses.
No.
They just well, I don't know how they do it, but they just make more viruses. They're worse than amoebas like that.
I gotta really figure out what the vector is on that. The last I'd heard was just kind of wash your hands and don't touch your face, kind of like what I've been doing this entire time. Because I don't believe it's airborne, but it's definitely contact related. And then a lot of it's just going to depend on what kind of virus it is. If it's a retrovirus, if it's going to continue mutating, or if it's just going to be a one-off. And those of us that have a better immune system or have some kind of natural immunity do better at it. That would be best. Hopefully, it doesn't mutate.
Well,
B. Feller said, "Can you ask Bob when his next video is coming?"
Yeah.
B. Feller would what?
Yeah. I have quite a few different videos in the works. It's just trying to get a film crew going right now. I'm finishing up a snake tanning video right now. Wild salt acquisition. Those are projects I've had ongoing for a little while, but I've got some really big ones this spring is coming in. I've just re-updated the whiteboard and thrown everything up as far as the project board is concerned. And I've got some real big stuff for some network TV deals that are coming up in the next couple months. So I've had a few producers out here. It's been busy, just not fruitful yet. So we've got some plans, and hopefully there's some cool things coming down the way here pretty soon. But I think I'm going to throw a bunch of small videos up on the side channel, Barely Survival, if y'all are part of that, and give y'all a bit of insight on.
It's being Biddy that's one of those rumor things or whatever. If there's no viruses alive on the surface of Venus, the end. Okay, so if you cook your bread at 350 degrees, there's not going to be no viruses in it. Now, if you're eating sushi or cold noodles or whatever, that's on you, because again, the people carrying the virus are asymptomatic. They're not running a fever. They don't have a runny nose. They don't have a sore throat until it's too late. And then they still don't have, all they have is a cough. And it's just like a regular dry throat cough, like, oh, I need a glass of water. You're not sitting there hacking your lungs up like, you've got the pneumonia until you've got the pneumonia. It doesn't start in your nose and work its way down. It starts in your lungs and works its way up.
It's got to find a way to get in your body, though, for starters. And then talking about trying to make sure your water's good, viruses have DNA just like us, or DNA or RNA, and it's all put together with hydrogen bonds. So as long as you're boiling water, you're breaking up the DNA, you're denaturing it, you're effectively knocking that virus out of its ability to do anything. But that's Usually it's not water as the vector. Usually it's people sneezing or handshakes or viruses are tiny. Even compared to bacteria, viruses are little bitty things.
Well, isn't it the now I forget the name of the filter, but the Berkey filter? Aren't they supposed to get like 99.9% of all the viruses when you filter the water with them?
Yeah, they've got several out in the market that are capable of taking the viruses. They're just micro filters. But like you said, if one gets through, it's over. And that's the big deal. All it has to do is find the target cell that it wants inside your body, whatever kind of cell it targets, and it has to get in and start hijacking your body. So I think I don't know what that means, if there's viruses that are smaller that get through the membrane, or if the membrane just has imperfections. If you misuse a membrane for a little while and push down on it or blow some holes in it by giving it too much pressure, it's just a really janky thing.
My little well, dadgummit, my little filter that I carry in my backpack, the one that it's got the bag with it. Dadgummit, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, you got a syringe where you can put water and blow it back the other direction. Where are you getting the clean water to blow it back the other direction? There you go. You know,
Yeah.
It don't, like I say, it only takes one. It only takes one of those stupid bacteria size parasites that you get Giardia. It only takes one of those to have a party up in the house.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, hey, you know what? I believe I'm lonely. I'll just go ahead and split into two. And then they're like, we're still lonely. Let's split into 4, 8, 16. It goes like wildfire after that.
Yeah. Binary fission. Fun stuff.
And I wonder, will iodine kill a virus? I don't know about these.
No. So viruses aren't alive at all. So they don't really need any of the needs that they have. I mean, if you leave them out for long enough in the sun, they'll break down like any other biomolecule. But they have a capsid, they have DNA or RNA inside, and that's usually it. I mean, they might have a few tricks for being able to get into cells or get into the body, but there's not much more to them. So whatever you can do to figure out what the capsid is made out of and find some way to break the integrity of it, that's the main part. Most of your vaccines are just things that allow your body to recognize the virus, or they're like antibodies that go up and they clump onto the virus, either to tell your body to go ahead and wipe it out, knock it out, kill it, or enough of them kind of dogpile on top of that where the virus, even when it tries or attempts to attach onto your cell and get inside, it's got too much other stuff just hanging off of it, and it's no longer able to do what it wants to do. So it just kind of breaks down naturally and decays inside the body until it can't do anything. So body's crazy. But even if you have a vaccination, that doesn't mean you don't have the, like a flu vaccine. It doesn't mean you don't have flu viruses going throughout your bloodstream right then. It might mean that your body's gone ahead and the antibodies that are going throughout have just neutralized them, and so you have fully fledged flu viruses all in your body. They just can't make contact with your cells because too many antibodies are all over them. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the way I understand it, and you hit your mic cord or something. The way I understand it, the vaccine makes your body create the antibodies, which prevent the virus from being successful, and allows your body to go ahead and kill the virus. It doesn't prevent you from catching the flu. It just keeps the flu from killing you.
It's more of a time frame issue. So that's the deal. Is everybody's afraid of finding a virus or some kind of sickness that's so pervasive and so strong that it kills you before your body has a chance. Your body, for the most part, has has a really good ability of being able to go and start making antibodies, which is what your vaccine is going to make. But it takes you 7, 8, 9, 2 weeks to get those antibodies up to the numbers capable of going and defending yourself, and you start to heal. And so if you have a virus that takes you out and kills you before that time frame, you're done. So that's where they have things like, and now you have an anthrax vaccine. If you're able to survive anthrax for a week, your body has enough antibodies to take care of the issue. It's just anthrax kills you before your body's able to respond. If you get the vaccine, you already have a standing army there. As soon as they come in contact with the anthrax, they can start clumping on, and they can start taking care of it immediately. And it gives you a heck of a heads up as far as taking care of the issue. So it's having an army in place. And if you don't have the vaccination, if you don't have the antibodies, you have to go through the normal processes of all those days of your body recognizing what's wrong, building the correct antibodies, and then getting them up to the numbers capable of winning before you expire, before you die. So it's just a time thing.
And sorry, Biddy, but this channel's not for kids. Anyway, and trying, they were making that beer that you couldn't drink unless you put lemon juice in it. They should have known sooner or later something like this was going to happen. You got to put orange juice or lemon juice in it. Don't drink it. So them making Corona all this time, we should have been expecting something to go wrong.
Yeah. What have we done?
Yeah. What have we done? You used to be able to just make that little sound and then enjoy. Don't see no Paps viruses running around, do you? I didn't think so.
Yeah. It's pretty remarkable that we haven't had anything worse, especially with all the variants of bubonic and all the other plagues and stuff we've had come through. That we haven't really had anything come and wipe us out here more recently. So it's going to be a more and more of an issue. The more people you have, the more likely you're going to have these crazy viral outbreaks. So whenever I hear somebody say, why are we going over there? Why are we taking care of other people's viral outbreaks? Why don't we just shut down the United States? As a biologist, everybody that gets one of these viruses, whether it's the flu or malaria, or what was it a couple of years ago that all my students were afraid of, I don't know, whatever it was in the news at the time. But everybody that gets this virus, they become a factory for these viruses. I mean, you get hundreds of thousands, if not millions and billions of viruses inside your body. And everything mutates. All of our cells mutate at all times. So every single person that gets the virus becomes a factory for viruses. And the off chance, the one in trillions and trillions and trillions of chances that the one virus that is capable of taking out the entire human race is made inside of one of these humans increases every single human that gets it. And so you want to try and decrease the amount of humans getting, contracting, and spreading these viruses because they become little mutation factories. It's a crazy thing when you look at the numbers, but it's scary.
I mean, there are a lot of different viruses out there. Just it happens that every so often one comes along that is aggressive enough to a degree where a lot of people, animals, and people always talk about, all the humans died. Chances are, if it was killing people, there was something else out there paying for it too. I don't think that we hunted all the mammoth to death. I think we were probably putting a big hurt on them. But I got a sneaky feeling they all caught a cold and they died. And they just, not enough of them lived through it. Not with bunch of hungry guys running around going, "Hey man, there's only 2,000 mammoth. There should have been 20,000 mammoth."
You really
So,
think so?
they'll be back next year. Let's go ahead and hunt them all out. And that was the end of it.
I don't know, man.
That's like
It's
people with the mourning dove. They'll fly back. They'll be back next year. Not if you kill all of them. They only bring their
carrier
kids back.
pigeons. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. The mammoth thing. I understand elephant gestation is a long thing. Is their reproductive abilities are really limited. It's a long game to get elephants going. So, and then you look at down here, well, where you're from, Big Bend, and the killing cliffs that have all the mammoths underneath them, like these huge cliffs that our ancestors ran these mammoths off of down near Big Bend and surrounding areas. I think the carbon levels right there, the carbon piles were something like 170 foot tall. That's 170 foot of mammoth bones of year after year after year after year of running them off of cliffs quite successfully. So I don't know. I think we just really liked mammoth burgers a lot.
Yeah. If you think about it, man, all you had to do is get 3 of them puppies off the cliff, and you made the season. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, that's right. They switched over to buffalo, and then
Yeah.
some little girl took me out on some stupid buffalo cliff, and yeah, now I'm here.
A girl took you on a buffalo cliff?
Yeah, there's a place just outside of or in Garza County called Buffalo Point where they used to run the buffalo off, and it was suggested by a curly-headed curly brunette, that we go out and watch the meteor shower. And anyway, yeah, I'm married to her, but yeah, those places are all over the place. I don't know if they ran mammoths off there or not, but I sure would not want to be a buffalo running at full speed going off of the edge of that thing. It's a 20-foot drop right off the top of the limestone, and then busted rock for a long ways after that. There was a lot of broken legs involved in that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. If it works, it works.
that's the one. If it, they were doing this stuff before they had horses. They couldn't run them down and shoot them with a bow. They had to get them dead somehow.
No, just the logistics of taking down a mammoth. If you were to try and take it down with a team of people and sharpened sticks, I don't want to be on the ground for that. So, yeah, running off a cliff. Let's do that.
Have you watched that 10,000 BC or whatever it is?
I think
anyway,
did a long time
ago. Mammoth with a handmade net. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, no.
That'll work.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see anything getting netted, especially once it gets up to size. So, that just the sheer weight of a net capable of taking out a mammoth would be pretty insane. So, no. Digging a hole in the ground is pretty effective. Putting things in the ground, letting them fall in holes.
Yeah.
Tried and true.
On the virus thing, got a couple people we were talking about. Wait, hold on. Again, we're getting with the iodine, but they're saying germs, and iodine will kill germs, but viruses aren't germs. Germs are bacteria, correct?
Yeah.
Viruses are a different breed.
Germs or bacteria. They're so viruses are so different. They don't care. They're not live. They're just messed up pieces of the DNA that have gone rogue. That's all they are. They don't have any biological processes. They can't reproduce on their own. And when I say are small, even compared to bacteria. So you've heard of like having 10 trillion bacteria on your body, or at least part of your body.
Yeah.
And maybe your body's 10 trillion cells alone. Like you can put 100 bacteria inside of one of your cells easily. a lot of the bacteria. You can put 1,000 bacteria in one of your cells. You can put thousands and thousands of viruses inside of that same tiny bacteria. So we're talking about something just minuscule, tiny. That's everywhere. So they're too small. They don't even have the ability to reproduce on their own because they don't have enough space. They don't have the machinery. That's why they
So how do they reproduce?
hijack us.
Oh, okay. They have to have a host to be able to do the work.
They don't replicate because they want to replicate. They're a coding error that gets inside of your body and takes over your cells. So it sucks.
That's how come they do the. That's why the zombie virus theory is so popular, because the virus actually, and the using a virus to cure cancer, all those theories are so popular because they actually manipulate viruses to go in and take a cell over and make it do what they want it to do in theory. And there's actually research out there. They're paying billions of dollars a year for people to try to make viruses do exactly what they want the virus to do when they inject it into the human body. That I have read. I mean, I know that research is being done. So I don't particularly like the idea, because all they have to do is, they get it out there and then it mutates, and then what do they got?
With the machinery that they're making right now.
Okay, what is the trigger point, or your trigger point? What would make you stop in your tracks and back down the hatches?
They're really messing with viruses, figuring out nanotechnologies and having it programmed. But when it comes to viruses,
anyway, viruses are bad news. If I find out that Dallas Fort Worth has 26 people that's confirmed with this virus, and then I find out that because between Dallas and Lubbock is my world. So if Dallas has it, if there's 20 people in Dallas that have it confirmed, that means that there is at least one person that has got that stuff to Lubbock. So I don't go to Lubbock anymore. I don't go to Dallas anymore. We stay here. My family
you don't even check
better
at that
skinny their little hinds around the hub city and get to here. Don't drive through the hub city to here. That's the thing is, unless you're when this thing hits, if I am on my soapbox, if this thing hits and turns into a massive pandemic worldwide, we're all going to die from the bad beer virus. If you're not already somewhere where you can catch your water, filter your water, boil your water, bathe in your water, then boil it again, filter it again, drink it, then you're screwed. Because you don't know this virus, the one that we're scared of. It's not, the guy doesn't come over, I'm gonna eat your brains. He just walks up and says, "Hi, my name's Bob, Al Sings," and you're both dead. The trigger point is you either got ready or you didn't. There you go. We know, don't go buy chicken at the grocery store. If chicken is how it's getting around, don't go buy chicken. If it's canned chicken, chances are it's good because they put the chicken in the can and then they cook it.
I mean,
Viruses
the big
don't
thing,
survive cooking.
the big thing on these is, yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Bob.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. They're still on the outside of the can. So that's the big thing, is all the handling. Where did your food come from, and how long have you had it in there? But I really, when it comes to all this stuff, you're really rooting for the scientists. Yeah, you're rooting for the scientists. Even with like bubonic plague and stuff like that, we've wiped out. You're, you're you can try and hide. I mean, you talk about the Middle Ages, and they have time after time they had these castles that would lock up. Population is pretty much guaranteed that they're going to go down. You might be able to stay off grid long enough for a year plus. You might be able to stay away from human interaction, but chances are it's going to come in on the wind sometime or come in some other way. And you really want to hope that science comes up with a vaccine that can be given to the rest of the public that has not contracted it, that has not gone through the infection, and just so happens so that we have 100% of the remaining people that get exposed to it survive it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a big mistake to run to the hills and just wait for everybody else to die and hope you don't get it, because then if they do find a cure, then you're not going to know about it. And then when you go into town, everybody else has been vaccinated and are resistant to it. Maybe we've been bouncing in and out. Anyway, but if you're the only person left that didn't get vaccinated, you're going to be the next person to go. So I don't think, if it's something where you can see the people dying, then you just stay away from it and you hope for the best. There's no way that's the thing. You can buy all the masks and you can buy all the water filters, all the flashlights, have the best bug out bag. But when it comes to something like a worldwide pandemic, it's whether it's luck, dude. I mean, do you live or not? Does somebody get lucky and figure out, hey, if we use this enzyme to do this, then this will work, and all of a sudden, all the little bad beer bugs die. So if it's luck. The only thing we can do is the same thing we all should have been doing. We should have been trying to come up with alternate sources of food, and not, well, I've got a deer rifle and I can kill a deer at 200 yards. And after all 167 deer within 2 miles of your house are gone.
Yeah, 3 months later.
Yeah. What are you going to eat then? Because while you were killing those deer, your neighbor were killing all of his, and the rabbits, and the squirrels, and the pigeons, and the quails, and the gophers, and the rats, which y'all said you would never eat. And you're scalping them down, and they eat the best hairless tail squirrel I ever done had in my life. Nom, 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 nom. Yeah, yeah. After you've shot everything else, that possum, he ain't gonna look so cute. He gonna look like fried chicken. That's what he's gonna look like. That's, it's either you can dig through the trash with the raccoons, or you can dig through the trash for the raccoons. They're fresher. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's all luck, and I'm not trying to be a a doom and gloom kind of guy, but really, I mean, last night, I'm gonna go ahead and give this back to you, Bob. Last night you were trying to explain some of the things you had done,
Yeah.
on your property to get ready for something like this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be real quiet and let you have all the bandwidth and see if you can give it to them again.
Well, even then, I don't. There are things that I've got going on with my property as a biologist. I know methods and means and have setups that they don't want you to know about that are going to be able to give me food long after that 3 month period of there are no deer left. There will be no deer left. Your deer rifle is going to be good for killing humans. That's it. I grew up in West Texas. Back in those days, people were still just shooting deer like crazy. You didn't have any deer in West Texas. We didn't have any deer down here in South Texas either. It took me 2 weeks to get a deer. So it's out of meat. If you're depending upon wild meat, good luck, because it's not going to last for very long. So it's not part of my plan at all. I do have deer rifles. I do have all the ability to go hunting and get the big stuff. But as far as the plan, the long-term plan, shooting deer, eating pigs is zero. That's a big zero as far as my survival plan. What Wes is alluding to is what I've got going on my property. As far as I think y'all were talking about going and harvesting and being able to till fields, and what do you do once your tractors are all down? What do you do when I mean, what's the next stage in survival? What happens when you start running out of your canned goods? What's the next stage of being a prepper? If you have 3 years of food stored up, what happens after 3 years is up? What are you really doing? And so out here on this property, and I live out here in the humidity in South Texas, but we've been adapting the land. We've been changing it up and helping it along. That doesn't mean we till it every year. We don't till it. We're not putting crops out there like corn or anything that we have to plant annually, other than our little gardens that we play around with. But what we've been doing is taking the fruit, nut trees, berry trees, anything that's really, really beneficial survival-wise as far as the food or material, and we've been helping those plants along. So the wild pecan, pomegranates now, tons of fig trees. I've got over 100 fig trees now cut and growing on property. Guavas are coming in, Texas walnut, hackberry, persimmons, just dozens of various types of fruit and nut trees that we're going and cloning and grafting and trying to bring in from other areas, things that are local within a few counties that we might just not have on our property, but the property is dynamic. So instead of going and clear cutting and making a field and putting in an orchard with a bunch of grafted things, and then have to make sure that orchard gets water and it gets the pesticide and herbicide and fungicide and has to be cared for and pruned, we're taking and looking at a hillside or a creek or a valley or a ravine and looking at the type of plant in Texas that makes fruit or makes nuts or makes berries or makes food, and what goes in that area. And we're planting that kind of thing in those areas. So if it's got a lot of gravel up on top, we'll put the agaves in. We'll put the desert hackberry in. If we're looking down at the watershed, we'll throw the fig trees in there and the guavas and the mulberry trees and you name it. So as much as possible, and we come through there and we help a few of these things out here and there. But for the most part, over the years, trying to maintain gardens and doing stuff down here as opposed to where you're at West, and that's where I grew up, which gardening there was so much nicer, so much easier. But down here, you're going to die. You're just going to kill yourself trying to maintain a garden. The ants are going to take it out. The molds are going to take out. The heat's going to take it out. You can get a beautiful garden going, but the amount of work that you put into it is going to be substantial. And that's not to say that I wouldn't have a garden if I was out here surviving. I absolutely would. but 95+% of my food and my long-term survival is dependent upon taking care of this food forest and propagating it and making it more and more diverse, so that if I have an off year on the Anaqua berries, then hopefully it's the on year for the desert hackberries, or for the little dewberries on the river. And so to have enough things there that they cycle out, and throughout the year I've got a bit of diversity of food. And even if, like with the walnuts and the pecans, my wife is deathly allergic to that stuff. Even if it's something that she can't eat, it's at least something that the nature out there that can eat. And so the squirrels and the raccoons and everything else come out there to eat on it. And if we had to, we can eat them. So if it's not food for us, it's at least food for our food. And we're just working towards that more and more. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, he's given me the tour a couple of times down there on his property. He knows which tree is food, which tree is firewood, which tree is homes to animals, which tree, uh, he's got giant thorny baked potatoes growing on one whole hillside, or hill. That would be a hilltop. My bad. Yeah, and you can either bake them and eat them, or distill them and drink them, whichever. So,
No, I've got some like 300 agaves going right now, and eventually I should have about 1,000 agaves at least. And we're propagating different size ones. We've got the big ones going. I need to do some more videos on that, really bad. But that's our mainstay. I mean, we have all these berries. You've seen probably my foraging videos. If you haven't, in Texas, we've got it going on with that. But as far as starch is going, as far as being able to go and have a food throughout the year, something that's going to keep you going, the agave plant's where it's at. And so once I have upwards of 1,000 agave, then I now have the ability to feed my family, probably 2 other family units, year round, forever. And that's without starvation. You might get tired of eating agave here and there, but that's what all the other fruit trees are for, and everything else we have going out here is to add some diversity to that. Calories wise, we're good, completely good with agave. We are solid completely. So that's our saving grace. That's our miracle food here.
That's the problem with around here is they have taken out every wild plant, every indigenous food-bearing plant, and replaced it with cotton or corn or milo, peanuts. Down there, the other side of Odessa, I mean, you can eat, if you can if you can find some way to wash them, there's scrub oak and acorn for miles. You eat acorn and rattlesnake from now on. That's, it all depends on whether or not you're willing to eat. I mean, people,
that's a hard life,
I'm going to hit the hills and I'm going to eat whatever. Well, you better teach your taste buds that whatever is edible, because people ask me, why do you eat that? Get ready
for some processing.
Yeah, because I want my body to be able to eat that stuff.
Yeah, any of the Indian remains I've come across with the bones, like their teeth are ground down flat. Their teeth are completely flattened down because they've been grinding up all the natural grains, all the acorns, stuff like that, and they've been eating grits of sand and gravel because of the processing of the acorns. And the only way to really get all the nutrients out of that, to really make bread out of a lot of these things, is you've got to grind them down. And so you're looking at a ton of processing time. Hopefully you have a grist mill of some sort, but it's also really, really hard on your body. You're not going to live to ripe old age of 70 and 80 without teeth. So there's a lot of downturns. I mean, civilization's done a lot of good things for us.
Yeah. So that's a lot of people don't even realize that Johnson grass was brought over here from Europe. It was actually a feed grain. It's one of the original Milos that was grown. Johnson grass was grown because you could go out there and cut the tops off, save the seeds, grind it up, and you had gruel. Uh, well, he doesn't want to talk about Johnson grass, but the that was me being funny. Johnson grass, the tops are okay. The plant you can actually eat the stalks. You just have to either cut them and eat them straight, or you have to leave them alone until they're completely dry, which then they're hay and you feed them to your goat. You cannot eat wilted Johnson grass. You can, the white sprouts at the bottom are edible starches, but you dig them up, you break them off, and you eat them right then and there because I think something like 2 hours after they've been removed from the plant, they start breaking down, and the first process that happens to them is they make a poison, and if you eat enough of that poison, you get sick. That's what everybody's like, oh, Johnson grass, you can't let your cows eat that, it'll kill them. As long as they're out there eating green Johnson grass, they're fine. And as long as you mow the Johnson grass and let it sit out there for 3 days, they're fine. You just can't go out there and cut down Johnson grass, let it wilt, and bring it back and feed it to your animals day in and day out because they will get sick and die. There's more to all this going back in time than just YouTube videos. The amount of research that goes into knowing the stuff that we put on our channel channels is stupid.
Yeah. There's a lot of failed attempts. There's a lot of stuff, and we're always looking for more. So you folks out there in Texas, like I'm within a couple years, I'm willing to be able to go ahead and help people propagate their own wild edibles. All these fruit trees, nut trees you see on the property, and we've got a lot more that are coming in that we're adding in there. Dragon fruit's one of them that's becoming just fantastic out here. But there are folks out there with wild plum and wild peaches and all these other things that nobody else knows about, or you had no idea one county over folks were being able to grow and grow well. We need to have a resource network where we're able to go and share these ideas. I've got a video series I'm working on right now for the side channel that's going to show how to do the propagation from cuttings and how to do some grafting, because nobody can afford to go in there and buy $40 and $50 a tree and start your own orchard. Even the wild trees are selling for that, and you can't afford to do that. There's no way. And so those folks that are out there and they can't afford the land, like I've been talking to some folks. I mean, it doesn't take much to throw some prickly pear out there on some land that's not even yours. I'm not really advocating to go out there and throw something somewhere that it doesn't belong. But prickly pear is everywhere, and automatically you have the food and you have that as a resource immediately, and it's all over the place. So if you need it at your bug out location, go throw some prickly pear out there, and within a couple of years, you have another food source at that location that you're planning on. Same thing goes. If you learn how to clone these things, especially like fig trees and guavas and all these trees that are just super simple to clone and just take cuttings off of and make more of, you can really start developing a food forest for no money at all, for free. You can start getting fruit and nut trees all over your property or all over a remote location, and you can start priming that area because it takes years to make it where it's going to be what you need. And it takes, as Wes is saying, a lot of trying to figure out exactly where these things want to be, how much care they need, and hopefully no care at all, and how many years it's going to take for them to start giving and producing and really being able to supply you. So it's a lot of science, it's a lot of trial and error. And if we could just kind of bring all that together, hopefully one of these days we'll be able to have a pretty good plan.
That's I saw a guy pop Corsair Trainers. He's pretty big on his channel about You know, we're all supposed to be trying to, and I agree with him 100%. Let me turn the camera on so everybody can see that I'm actually serious. I'm trying to keep my camera turned off so it'll ease up the stream and allow you to keep up better. We are not in this as lone wolves. What good does it do me to get my entire family in one little compound and survive the apocalypse if then after we go out and we own the entire world because everybody else died? Now my grandkids are all have to be like hillbillies and go, hi Bubba, hi Sissy, we gonna get married and have some babies. No, we're in this together. We're supposed to be trying to keep each other alive. We're not supposed to be just trying to keep ourselves alive. I mean, if nobody, this is a pet peeve of mine. When you know the person on the side of the road with a blowout and you won't stop to make sure that his cell phone ain't dead, well, you really don't need to survive the apocalypse anyway. There you go. I said it. You know,
It's awesome. Life could get really, really dull just hanging out with just your family. Like it's, I don't know. It's take and collect and take care of. Well, collect as many awesome people as you can. But like back to like my point, and Wes is talking about, it's a community. Yeah, we need to find people that are part of this community that want to do this. Same time, like the things that I give my neighbors that have ponds and stock ponds and property out around my place for Christmas and other gifts, I give them fig trees. I give them fruit bearing trees, and I offer to go plant them for them in their yard out of the kindness of my heart. Kind of. If all your neighbors are watering all the trees and you know where all the fruit trees and all the nut trees are, and you've given all your neighbors for years and years pecan trees and mulberry trees and fig trees and guavas, and now their front yard is an orchard, by extension, you now have food plots all around your property. And so you can actually go and develop other people's property just by giving them gifts and doing it that way. So there's a lot of sideways thinking where you can get other folks to take care of things that will eventually take care of you.
you know, the last time when I was down there last year, you do realize you sent a plant home with me, right?
Oh, the agave? Yeah.
No, that's right. You got me twice. You sent me the agave and the chili pecan plant.
Oh, it's just
You're using my property to make food.
if it's everywhere, if it's all over the place. I mean, speaking candidly, the majority of my neighbors won't. If there was ever an emergency, I have, and I love them to death. But chances are they're not going to do very well when a virus comes through. And then you have just the normal populace. There's a lot of folks that it's just amazing that they've lived as many years as they do because they're accident prone, or if it didn't come out of the can, they could not survive on it. And so you're looking at these folks that might be around for a few months, but chances are they're going to go move off to see where their family is, or go make a mistake, or go somewhere else, and you're going to be left with these abandoned properties around your area. And so if you've already got an established food forest and these food plots where you can go and cycle out and go visit these areas where there's a stock pond and there's a ton of fruit trees and nut trees around it, and just kind of make the circuit, it really extends your land out. It really extends your options. It gives you options. And so it's a huge thing. Again, I'm going to go ahead and make some videos and showing how to propagate and do some cutting. I'm sure some of the people listening, they know exactly what I'm talking about as far as how to do. But you can easily, even if you live in town, have 1,000 fig trees going in cups in your backyard and not spend one cent for it. And if you want to give those things away as gifts, They're $40 trees. Giveaways, gifts. There you go. Christmas is done. But you can really get into the stuff and start propagating and spreading the stuff around. It's really fantastic once you get into it.
Yeah, after realizing just exactly how easy it is to clone trees, I was like,
Yeah.
wow, why haven't I been doing this all the time? It's
Some of them are kind of hard.
yeah,
It's a numbers game. But yeah, it's just it's all worth it in the end, though. It really is. So, yeah.
I don't know, and gardening is not, everybody's always like, well, I've got a seed vault. Yay, you. Do you have a garden?
Yeah.
We found some seeds that had been in a seed vault for 20 years. We know people that have prepped for a while. We said, why not? Let's see what happens if we plant these. Planted 150 linear foot of garden with 20-year-old seeds that had been kept dry and cool and the whole 9 yards. Original packages. They should have been fine. Not a single sprout. So,
Yeah.
we get a question?
It says at Bob Hansler, do you know how to add different tree branches? I forget what it's called. Multi-fruit trees all in one.
Oh, the grafting,
Grafting.
like making a orange tree make lemons or whatever. Can you do it?
Yeah.
That
You
would be
can.
kind of.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's called grafting. That's especially good when you're talking about inferior like rootstocks and stuff like that. To a lesser extent, that's more advanced, and I'm going to be getting into that eventually, being able to go. But if you're getting into grafting, that's the assumption that you have a mother tree that has the kind of branches that you want, and you can go clip off of that, and then take it to a less desirable analog of the same tree. And so you have to have more variables lined up to be able to make that happen and make that occur. Um, so the more variables, the more complexity you have, the less likelihood you're going to have an application where you can go and use this stuff. But it's really really useful, especially with like some of the citrus we have down here. There's beautiful orange trees that I'd love to have out here, but first I have to go and grow the nasty orange trees that I don't like, and then I can clip those guys, take their roots, put the orange tree that I really like and take care of, and have inside of a greenhouse or a solarium, and it just gets really complex. But yeah, you can make multi fruit trees pretty easy. It's a little art of its own.
My problem that I have with fruit trees here, which I've got, FYI for all you people out there that wonder, I am propagating an orchard. Most of it's on my property. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, some of it's on my property.
Right.
The thing is not every tree grows no matter what you do. And even after you get the trees up and they make these beautiful blossoms and they're like, oh, yay. And then this weather comes in and it freezes, or comes a 50-mile-per-hour windstorm and blows every blossom off. No blossom, no fruit. Last year, was it last year? That the apricots out the Gazonga, I couldn't process them all off of one tree. The best I did, and that's what, 7 years trying to get fruit off that tree. The first time I successfully got fruit off of it, I got 22 apricots. And then last year I got 3 5-gallon buckets before I just said I'm done. I'd have no place to put anymore off of one little tree. But it's not up to you whether or not you make fruit on a fruit tree in West Texas. It's up to Mother Nature. She be telling you whether or not it's going to happen, not you. If you
It's
know
really the
that there's going to
variety.
be a cold front coming in, you can go out and wrap it in plastic. But are you always going to have plastic? You can't run down to the store and get plastic if the Walmart ain't there no more.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to have variety as much as possible, so that if one environmental factor comes through and knocks out one part of your orchard, or if you're in a cycle, because a lot of these fruit trees have three plus year cycles where they're just going to have a terrible year. You're not going to have any good fruit at all, and then you'll have a good year. And so you want to have as many different types of fruit and nut trees going as possible. You want as much diversity. Even the mulberries, like from a couple of years ago when we went and did the survival challenge with wooded beardsmen, half of those mulberries are now dead. Those big grand trees that have been around since I was a little kid, they're all dead. The San Antonio River brought some kind of fungus to them, and it killed them, wiped out half of them at least in 1 year. So
Yeah, I was noticing when I was down there that some of the trees they don't look healthy at all, man. Some of the
they're
ones
just
that are
dead.
still there. The big mulberry that hangs over right there at the mouth of the creek, it
Yeah,
was beautiful. And it's all like almost dead.
yeah. I don't know. We started seeing popcorn fungus on those guys 3 years ago, and then the next year there was even more popcorn fungus on more of the trees, and now all of them are bone dry and dead and falling over. And so I don't know. I'm cloning some of the ones up closer up to the creek, and planting more mulberries throughout the creek. But I am looking at some of the dwarf mulberries and some of the other analogs. Um, I don't know. That's one of the other things with cloning is that if I take a tree that is subject to dying, hopefully what I'm doing is I'm picking a healthy individual and I'm clipping off of that, and that it's the one that survived and might have some natural resistance. I'm cloning that thing. I'm making lots and lots of this of the same tree that have the exact same genetics. So anything that comes through and kills that tree, the rest of my orchard that I've cloned is going to be possibly at risk, at heightened risk. So first step is cloning. Get a whole bunch of those plants and a whole bunch of those trees up and down everywhere you're going, and then hopefully nature takes over and starts doing its plant sex thing, and you start getting variation in your wild fruits and wild nuts and veg.
Yeah. I wish the nanny goat would decide that there's some other place to rub her horns on besides my freaking pecan tree. But hey,
Oh man,
can't ask for too much. And guns, welcome aboard, you nut job. You don't want to eat this popcorn and fungus because they're the same thing, and you might get a bellyache. Okay.
oh it's gross, man. It's Look that up on Google, guys. Popcorn mulberry fungus.
Oh, that's the
It
thing that makes them get the mulberries get all big and fluffy or whatever. Yeah, I'm
it
not getting
and
one of
they're
those.
still hard. They're hard, but they look bad. They look they look
Did you try
bad,
to eat
bad.
one? Did y'all
They
try to
look
eat one?
like nothing.
Can you
Hmm?
still eat those things? Or, I mean, I'm not going to try it. I mean, we can get Mikey to do it, maybe.
They stayed hard. They
Uh,
look wrong. They look way wrong.
it looks
I'm not gonna eat that. I'm not. I eat a lot of questionable shit, but I'm not gonna eat that. No.
yeah. Those were kind of getting thrown to the side.
Yeah. Well, there's the whole tree. The whole tree would go and get it. It's just a nasty fungus. So when the river comes up and goes all the way over those trees, I guess it came up when they were flowering out one time, and it brought stuff in on the water. So, I don't know. We'll work at it. We'll get a lot more propagated this year and get them going. It's a process to learn how to do this stuff. Take some time.
Yep. We're on the garden this year. We're going to try something a little different. Um, or I am. See if it works.
Hmm.
We'll try to do. I'm not going to till it. I'm going to just mulch it and then try to plant in the mulch because that's supposed to work. Because the
Yeah.
biggest problem we have here is water. You know, we literally have to was you got April, May, June, water every day.
Yeah.
From then on. Well, you can water every other day in June, but then come July, you literally have to water every day because the sun bakes the water out of the ground. And supposedly, if you put the mulch and don't till it in, you put it on top, you don't have to do that. So we're going to try it. And if that works, I'm going to be stoked. I'm going to be the wood chip savingest fool you ever seen in your life.
It'll
We'll go
definitely
out
help.
and start raking people's trees in the wintertime or yards for free.
It'll help. It'll help a lot. Yeah, that's you have a lot of that's an entire conversation. I'm kind of curious. I think where you're at, I would really say throw a bunch of those Spanish dagger yuccas up on your property line. If you had a row of those things, that's food, that's grain right there.
Mm-hmm.
The agaves, you got that started up. I'm looking right now at bringing in the spring the dwarf mulberries. I think they were like $10 a piece for rootstock of the dwarf mulberries. I think they get like 8 foot tall max, which is fine for some of the places I have down here. It's not like I can grab berries from 12 foot above me anyway. So to try and throw some diversity in there. But the mulberries in West Texas seem to do pretty well. I mean, we have them all throughout all the neighborhoods.
They do. And a friend of mine, he's got, he's got 4 of those dwarf mulberry trees. They look more like a bush. God, the mulberries are good. They're longer and skinnier than the ones on the trees you have, but they taste just the same. They will make you turn just as purple.
They'll ferment all the same. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's, same thing with the grapes. We're really trying to get a few of the hybrid species of grape going down here because we have the muscadine, which is a really bitter grape. So I'm trying to get some really sugary, juicy grapes going out here, and it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to get these things right. So,
well, just in case anybody wonders, goats think that grapevine are delicious. So if you decide to put grapes out, make sure that you have an adequate fence to keep out the little bitty heads that want to eat your grapevine.
You eat the goats, Wes. Eat the goats.
I am eating the goats, but you can only eat goats so fast.
Sounds like you're quitting. You're giving up.
Oh, see, I'm going to bring that hard-headed one down there and kick her out with your horses.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
I wonder if the neighbor even knows that there's a goat on his property, man. Why would there be a goat in the middle of his cows?
I don't even know what's going on because I didn't even know they shot that cow down there in the middle of the creek yesterday. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm completely out of the game as far as situational awareness on that one goes, man. I had to been standing within 50 yards of it.
Yeah, it's just a giant pile of cows right next to you on a bank with nothing else but mud on it, and it smelled horrible. I'm still spraying my boots off. Like I was 20 foot away, and the nasty had gotten that far. So it was all over the place, and it was a lot fresher when y'all were down there. But I don't know when people are over there next to my property shooting cows in the head. I'm out of the loop completely. So I don't know. It'll be nice having those bones down there unless a flood comes through and washes them all away. They might be some pretty good building material here in a couple of months.
Yeah.
So right now it's just gross.
Yes, ma'am. Goat rule. On that island, wait till not. Oh, man. Anyway, I appreciate you coming over and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with all these unwashed peasants over here in the side chat. I mean, our guests. And by unwashed peasants, I meant guns but pew pew. And
Naturally,
Steve.
yeah.
So specifically, those guys. Anyway, the beauty of this thing is, people, none of us are dead yet, so we don't have to give up. The end. I mean, we don't have to give up. We can. Right now, it's a matter of. Oh, let me get over here. It's a matter of bottled water, some water filters, and some canned food and stuff. That's, you could literally, for what, $100, get a month's supply of groceries. I mean, it wouldn't be good groceries, but for $100, you can get enough rice and beans to get you by for a month.
$100 will feed you for 4 months. Yeah,
Well, I'm
$100 for rice.
family, so
Like if I $100 for me, 100. I mean, if I just want to play a game, $100 for discount SpaghettiOs, that'll keep me going for 3 or 4 or 5 months. So, I mean, there's no excuse, guys. Don't buy all my SpaghettiOs up, but geez, make sure you got food.
I forgot about your plan to rule the world with SpaghettiOs. It's actually not a
There's
bad
nothing wrong with
plan.
having plans, man. There's nothing wrong with having plans.
My only thing is, I don't want, man, I want a can of SpaghettiOs once a year if somebody makes me.
Hey,
Now,
we're not
if
all
I can
perfect.
get pork and beans for the same price, I'm in it to win it, buddy. I eat a can of pork and beans every day.
We'll do
Tell
some
me
trading.
again,
We'll do
once
some
a week, spice them up, and I'm set.
Yeah.
But
There's options. We'll do some trading.
deal.
I didn't hear that deal.
She said, "I'll eat all the pork and beans. She eats all the SpaghettiOs." We do prep SpaghettiOs. They are not for this guy.
I don't know. I've got SpaghettiO tree growing out back.
That's
We'll see.
that would be a good one.
It's right next to that bacon spam tree.
I have
So.
a Roman noodle bush in the back. I
Yeah, what was it like? Chicken picante or something?
yeah. It's chicken, beef, and shrimp flavored, man. It's I grafted in some different ones.
Oh, no doubt. That's
Uh,
awesome.
Beautiful thing about it is you don't have to worry about a flood or anything. The fruit floats.
Is it the package or is the cup of soup variety?
It's the ones in the package. I'm thinking about getting the other one, but that's a tree and you have to climb to get them down.
Yeah.
So,
Well.
You gotta you've got to justify expenditure of energy for the calories. So, granted, the ones in the cup do have some vegetables in them, so they might.
Yeah, you get that.
Who's corn dog plants? No, guns, corn dog plants. Yeah.
I was saying, I can give you some of the cuttings off my corn dog plant if you can give me some of that shrimp flavor graft. So damn hard to get started.
Yep.
So
it's hard to come up with the right fertilizer too.
I think that's a Simpsons reference that he's talking about with the corn dog tree, though.
Might be.
Which I think in culture, just about anything we say is going to be a Simpsons reference at this point. So, Jesus.
As Craig, we're not going to learn to eat dirt. We already tried that. We'll just make oatmeal that tastes like dirt and eat that. Rob, why do you always come in when we're fishing and say goodnight? Yeah,
what the heck, Rob?
They do this. They all have each other's phone numbers, and they wait for me to start saying goodbye. And they text each other, and they go, "Okay, it's your shift, guys. He's fixed to say goodbye. Come in, make him feel bad about turning off the stream." They do it to me every time. I know they do. Because I'll start saying goodbye, and people will leave. But every time, it's like at 19 right now, it'll go down to 18. It'll jump back up to 19. Go down to 18. Jump back up to 19. And there'll be a whole different group of people over here in the side chat. And you're like, "No, I don't fall for it anymore." I just tell them, I say, "Okay, you can go back. It was a really good stream. enjoy it from the beginning, yada, yada, yada. Because they've kept me on here for close to 4 hours before. And I have a life. somewhere. I've got a tree of life somewhere.
Yeah.
I hope. Rod, you was throwing darts? Hey, I was going to try to make it all the way to your undisclosed location this evening. We had a deal in Lubbock, but, well, yeah, we decided to go to supper with the kids instead. Anyway, I had your darts in the car. I've got you a set of tungstens. They're, I believe, they're either 26 or 28 grams. I got you an extra
Food.
set of shafts and a brand new set of flights. So you'll have to clean them up. They've been in the box a while. But anyway, I was bringing you your darts. They're about $150 set. So they're good. I like them. They're what I throw. I'm not giving you my 30s, though. So, anyway. Well, I've got them in 22 and 26, 22, 28, and 30. I'm giving you the 28. So, anyway, I believe they're 28. I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't. Anyway, you got any words of wisdom for these folks as we attempt to close this thing out and go on with?
I have no idea. Just any insight, whatever they want to see. Right now, we're putting together the schedule for the spring as everything starts to green up. It's more mist and rain today, which is a good thing. But if they're followers of the channel and they've got any ideas on what they like to see, I mean, I live out here in the middle of nowhere. What I've got going on my brain, what I think is interesting is not always what everybody else thinks is interesting. So if I'm missing something, if somebody wants to see something, chime in.
There you go. See, he's like giving y'all a chance to make suggestions on what y'all want to see on his channel. I actually got a couple good ideas last time I did that. We're not giving y'all any information on it, but me and Bob are actually going to do a collab, and it's going to be like the most awesome thing ever since the corn dog tree. You know, this is nearly as cool as the fruit cocktail tree.
Yeah.
So,
sliced bread.
Pretty sure we both lost our freaking minds, but it'll be fun.
You say that, man. Come on now. It'll be good.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
It'll be good. Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Carnies have short legs. They'll never catch up. It's a foolproof plan. It's foolproof.
It's foolproof. There's nothing that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, Bob Hansler is the name of his channel. That's all. Just type it in. If I was a decent host, I would have already thrown a link up there. Hold on. I think I can do that.
We have the technology.
I have the technology. I believe I have the technology. If it'll work, if it don't lag.
And I think I'm going to go ahead and start having a few live streams on my side channel as well. So,
what do you call it? The video I put up about the announcement about this live stream. There's a little thing up on the corner up there. If you click it, his channel will come out. The Relative Man, I was trying to get him over here, but I could not make contact with him today for whatever reason.
It's revolting.
Well, Rob doesn't get everything he wants. The end. Because, well, I'm an oss. So, now if he'd ever let me know he wanted to go live or whatever, if he wants to sit here and do the live with me, we can do that. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to a 4 hour, well, actually I am, but I'm not going to do it by myself. And, all right, did that link go across, y'all? That's Bob's channel. Ours. awesomely responsible supervisor and experienced person. Something I don't like. I was almost there. Yeah, barely survival. And no, Robert, no, we'll have to some other time. I've been going. Well, we walked all over the Civic Center today for like how long, and fought with crowds of, throngs of. They put 100 kids on stage. Everybody had to go in and find a seat for that 100 kids, and then those kids went out one door, and some other kids come in and set up. And so the people that were watching that group of kids are trying to leave, and you're trying to get in and get a seat, and it's like it was. What do you call it? Mad Max Thunderdome type deal. Or just it could have got rough up in there. That lady behind me had to touch my butt one more time. I would have to turn around and have some words with her old man. But anyway, then come to find out it was just her purse. Anyhow, guys, seriously, we appreciate y'all spending your time listening to us talk. He's a real guy. He really knows his stuff. Y'all subscribe to him. Go watch
I don't know,
all
it's
of
kinda
his
sketchy.
old videos. He has videos back way older than mine. And you'll
They're-
realize
They're
why
hard to
guys.
watch.
Rob says he loves you. Bob. Awkward.
I know. Hopefully he got my letter. I don't know.
Probably. Is Shauna? He wants to know, is Shauna there?
Yeah, Sean's right here.
No,
She can't hear you though.
He told her to get out and kicked her down the hill. She's down there deboning the cow.
Wes said that I have to kick you down a hill and you're deboning a cow or something. I don't know. He's being flattering again. It's classic Wes.
I said hi, Shauna.
He says, "Hi, Shauna." What's that?
Yeah.
Hmm? Don't worry about it. Not yet. No, she's under the weather right now. I think the doctors called it. I don't know, something from China. She got here a couple days ago, so she didn't feel very good.
That's what she gets for eating chicken.
She can't.
There we go.
Stop.
Texas patient 0, Shauna.
I don't know.
Oh man, that's some stuff. Anyway, Robert said he didn't get a letter. So
I was just kidding.
Oh, okay. Anyhow,
it was with the flowers, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah, it was with the flowers and the chocolate.
Yeah.
It was with the thank you card for the weekend y'all spent together in Taos.
Yeah. No, I carved something real sweet on that corn dog tree. So he'll have to see it.
Yeah, should have asked Corona Light. What the heck is a survival woman? That would be the crazy lady with the 9 that runs around eating weeds and smacking snakes in the head.
Right.
Mrs. says it's the ones of us that have to put up with the ones that get in front of the camera.
Yeah, the survival women are the ones that put up with us. That's the truth. They can definitely have a reality TV show over that. So
they give a lot of really important support and help in making this stuff happen.
A lot that goes into it.
It's Trust me, half my videos wouldn't happen if it wasn't for
Excuse me.
death. The end. I'll be moping around the house thinking, man, I wish I had something to do, and she'll come there with a stick, chase me outside, say, "Go make a video." There we go. We have a video. I made that up, but it's funny. Bless you. Oh, there it is. First sign of the bad beer virus.
I know.
Okay. Oh, Lance. Hey, little buddy. Have a good day, guy. Give your mama a hug. Lance is the first child I delivered live on YouTube. He was his mother was in labor, and in the chat I gave her directions on how to breathe and what was going to happen and all that stuff. Or something. I thought she was full of crap. I didn't know she was actually in the delivery room, man. She was in the hospital having a baby. I thought she was messing with it. So I was messing back, and then come to find out, no, she was really in there having a baby. So anyway.
Multitasking,
yeah. That's a dead, and it wasn't my live stream. It was SOS's live stream. What, ma'am? All right, Mrs. is calling it. All you people, appreciate you. Y'all still alive? Don't die.
Later.
We'll catch y'all next time.